Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the CRM Zen Show, where we talk about all things Zoho. This is episode 236. Zia knows what you did last query for Friday, October 25th, 2024. From Zenatta Consulting, I'm Brett Martin.
And I'm Tyler Colt, and let's get right on into the show.
I am so bummed out. I was gone last week for 20,000 subscribers. And
you missed it. The 20 angels.
The cavalcade of angels, yes, it just cascaded across the screen. It was
Beautiful
I watched it later. Yeah, Greg did a great job. Oh man, well, I am back. I spent the weekend. I was away for a Sideways 20th anniversary celebration for the movie Sideways with the author of the novel Rex Pickett, and it was fun. Good time, but. For those of you who don't know, I'm kind of a wine guy, so there was a thing there, the list attached.
I know. I wonder if anyone's seen the other version of your background for the Cork and Journey side of things.
I know. Should I share? Should I give everybody a peek on the show here who just wants to see it? I'll do that. I'll go ahead here. So just bear with us. Skip ahead of this if you don't. But basically, this middle row goes away when I do a whole nother podcast, and then I just slowly rise up into a wine. So all I do is put just a couple bottles and get rid of those two signs, and then there it is. I have the complete Cork and Journey background is in place. Yeah, it's great. We'll go back down, but anyway, it was a good time. I'm happy to be back though. Slowly sync. I'm trying to keep with frame pace with the frame here.
It
works out well. I know.
Audio-only listeners are probably very confused by this section, but a good opportunity to check out the YouTube video and see what the heck we're doing.
It's just a standing desk. That's all it is. Does a little trick there, but who knows? Anyhow, all right, Tyler. Well, we have a quasi-light news week. There were about 3 or 4 stories that we kind of we're leaving out of the show, but be sure to check them out in the newsletter. As always, all the latest news goes there. And with that, let's get to a sponsor and then the news.
This episode of the CRM Zen Show is brought to you by ZPortals. ZPortals is a must-have extension allowing you to effortlessly coordinate with clients and partners. We configure ZPortals all the time for our clients who are looking for the best portal solution. And boy, do we love how easy it is to customize and the flexibility to connect to multiple Zoho apps. So don't wait. Check out ZPortals today and be sure to mention Zenatta to get 10% off your first month.
Alrighty. To be AI or not to be AI? So Zoho Desk has really just kind of enhanced their portal a little bit using some AI, I guess. It's more like, what would you call it?
Well, this is more of like language processing. It's like under the umbrella of AI. If you make it a really big umbrella, it's more of like a search and match. More than it is like synthesizing or processing information. But it is useful. I actually like the answer bot. Super easy to set up, basically points to the knowledge base that you already have, right? So you don't need to do anything crazy to create a database for it. So I'd make a little bit of fun at calling it AI, but it is actually a pretty good tool over in Zoho Desk.
Really nice. So basically just going to leverage your complete knowledge base. We've been kind of thinking about this for a couple other things. We're kind of play around with it. Maybe there's some other applications for it, but it looks fairly cool. So basically it's going to index all your complete knowledge base, and then go ahead and you can plug that into your answer bot. And if it can find something that makes sense, it's going to do it. 13 languages supported.
That's always nice.
Yep. And the article can have up to 100,000 characters, which is a lot, about 20,000 15,000 to 20,000 words. That's a novella, really. So very good. So that is the answer bot. So if you're using, go ahead.
It's an interesting one because AnswerBot has already been out for a while, and this article really is just summarizing AnswerBot. It seems like maybe they're baking Zia into it. It's not really clear to me what will be different with now that it has Zia involved rather than how it was functioning before. So I do notice that they added it to like the ticket itself, so an agent can query it. I think that might be new. But yeah, if you've already been using AnswerBot, this should just essentially be like an incremental improvement in how well it works for you.
What does ZIA stand for? Zoho Intelligence Artificial? Is it,
So
do we know?
Zoho Intelligence Agent, I think agent or assistant might be assistant.
Assistant. Got it. All right, well, moving right on with the news. Identify and prioritize profitable deals. Zoho CRM forecasts can help users focus on driving revenue opportunities. Zoho CRM forecasts has been around for a very, very, very long time. We don't really use it all that much. Do we find we're using it all that much?
No.
There's a lot of other things you can kind of do around forecasting, especially if you're on Zoho One and you have analytics and you've got some other things. But it's always interesting. It kind of looks at the overall sentiment of the deal and, kind of comes up with, hey, we think these are going to close or not. And they've kind of taken that to the next level here by basically assigning a deal's place based upon the behavioral nature of what's been going on with that deal. So you could have likely to win, at risk, low priority. I'm sure you can customize those tags, or maybe not.
Maybe not.
No, maybe not. Now that I look at it. So basically, they're analyzing historical deals, which ones have closed, how they close, what the behavior is associated with that, deals that happen and don't happen, and coming up with an expectation around that deal.
I will say, like, this is one of those tools that they've rolled out a lot of AI-centric tools over the last couple of years. A lot of them, I will admit, I don't really see a ton of utility for. I do, if this one works well, I would see this as being pretty useful. It's kind of like they rolled out that voice of the customer tool, and it kind of just gives you this super high level about if someone seems kind of happy or sad. But being able to maybe take that, correlate it to the deal that's going on and their response speed to emails and whether they've booked meetings and some of that stuff could be pretty useful, especially from a management perspective. You're not always going to know all those details. Like a salesperson probably has an inkling, right, of if something is likely or not likely to close. Their manager probably doesn't unless they ask them. So I could see this being pretty useful for like a sales manager to get that high level of, how are the deals in our pipeline looking on a more granular level.
I mean, back in the day, pre-Zoho, when I ran sales for other companies, you would put on a deal, you would say, the sales rep would do this, right? This is likely to close. Or one of the big ones was gut. In my gut, it's going to close. I just got the gut on it, right? And you could, after a while, see how good someone's gut was on whether or not the deal was going to close. But you would kind of have that sentiment layer, and oftentimes you would just build that out as an extra custom field, pick list, saying when you do this deal out of the gate, tell us what you think about it, right? Which would be interesting. Maybe we should do that. That would be interesting.
Let's see who's more accurate. That'd be a fun game to play.
Check side of things, exactly. All right, and moving right along, we've got this is a crazy one. We talk about this all the time, Tyler, but Bigin is getting bigger and getting a lot more features. And it's really becoming a overall full featured CRM. And now they've rolled out something called Bigin 360.
Like which a pricing plan. It's like above their professional plan, or what I think that's what they call the previous
just kind of
tier. Premier, there it is.
Kind of look at it here. It's it's one of those things where it's a slightly more expensive, so it's going to cost you about $6 more than the Premier plan. Gives you more records on import. There's a few other
like higher limits across the board, right? So like more team pipelines, more sub pipelines, more custom fields, right? Just kind of running down the list. Like it's just a increased limits for pretty much everything across the board.
And this is very similar to what they do with CRM.
Yeah.
With you look at the various editions and you're basically getting, more custom fields and those kind of things. So it's interesting across the board. They're pre-installing a bunch of toppings to go with it, so you get the increased features,
plugins or integrations. And any other app would call them a plugin or an integration, but in Bigin they are a topping.
Yes. So they're gonna include some toppings that I think they feel are essential, I guess, right? And so one of these, by the way, I was looking at it earlier, is this mail in, they call it, and it's really kind of interesting because there's a something in Zoho CRM called Sales Inbox that we've
Yeah.
talked about. You know, it started out, I remember looking at this thing 7 years ago, 8 years ago, thinking, wow, this is really cool. Basically, Sales Inbox pulls our inbox in. It sorts it by, is this a person in a lead? Are they a contact? Are they nothing? So a
Yeah.
person's coming to your inbox, they're not even in the CRM. Are they in an active deal? Because maybe,
Yeah.
an email from a deal you'd really want to take a look at and sort on that as well.
You gotta
Um,
prioritize those, right? This is like, hey, I got a quick question before I sign, right?
right.
You want to get that done now, right? Over some
Exactly.
prospecting work.
Exactly, but not much has kind of really happened with that, I think, in the last
Almost
8 years.
nothing.
It's almost zero. But the Bigin team decided to kind of do that, take it to the next level. It kind of does the same thing. It prioritizes them, but also gives you 5 email aliases you can set up. That when they come in, it's going to prioritize things and do something different. So I just thought it was interesting. It's kind of unique, just sitting in there in a, you know, inside a Bigin like that. Then file cabinets, some others. But the other interesting thing is they're going to be adding booking pages into Bigin early next year, into 360, it looks like. So they're going to start segmenting out features that are in the 360 version that aren't going to be in the other versions. I don't think,
Yep.
it doesn't seem like this is going to be a topping. No, I guess it is going to be a topping. So
And
are
for
they
some of
starting?
these, it's like this, the email in, you could get it in the lower edition, but there's a price for it.
Is there a
But
price for toppings?
yeah, well, some of them. So specifically this email in, right? It says, we've been offering this at an extra cost, but with Bigin 360, they're going to come pre-installed. So some of these may still be available, some might not. It's not super clear
We
in
should
terms
run a
of what
price comparison on Bigin, and you add all the toppings in and see what it would cost per user per month if you add all the toppings in and various other features. But again, this is interesting. They're going to have a booking page. Doesn't say that it's going to be part of Zoho bookings. So,
yeah.
and it actually does look different than Zoho
Yeah.
bookings,
They
considerably.
took the UI from Calendly pretty clearly.
Very, very much, yes.
Which is fine. It's a
Yeah.
nice UI. That's not a complaint, but it's very much a Calendly-like tool in terms of how it looks on the front end.
Yeah, looks very, very nice. Again, going back to Zoho CRM, they have a similar thing in Zoho CRM that you can set up, and
Yeah.
it's very good as well. I haven't looked at it in a while. I'm not sure if it looks this pretty anymore, if they've made any changes. We haven't reported on any changes to it, so I'm not sure if there are any or not. And that would be an extremely powerful tool if it just had just a couple more functions. And I'll be curious to see if this one does. So, for example, Tyler and I want to be on the meeting at the same time, so we want to put a booking link out. We're looking at both of our calendars and then putting the meeting on both of our calendars, right? That's always been kind of one of the things lacking in bookings, or round robin of something comes in and it's me and Tyler and Josh and Greg, and it can go on any of our calendars, whoever's got the first availability that works for that person. If you're listening, Zoho, I'm telling you, if you could do that, make some tweaks to Zoho bookings, do that, or even do it on the CRM side. That would be a good thing. I have not seen that before. Did that pop up in a previous edition
Yeah,
of?
Freddie's been dropping that little guy in every now and then.
So anyway, very, very cool. Kudos to the Bigin team. They just keep pushing this thing forward, and good stuff all the way around. And wrapping up, a little bit more of a PSA announcement here, but Zoholics London, the dates have been announced. It's going to be Monday, the 8th, and Tuesday, the 9th of September, 2025 in Birmingham, England. So there it is. Where you might notice, this is the website we're on here is A to Z Cloud. We couldn't find it anywhere on Zoho, but they did put an email out about it. And Lucy and her team over at A to Z Cloud got it together and put a page together. So good for them. So Zoholics, if you don't know, that's Zoho's big annual event. Man, they're rolling out everywhere. I was looking at their page earlier. They've got one going down in Panama City. They've got one in the Dominican Republic. They are really, I kind of want to go visit all these, see what's going on there.
Make the world tour.
Make the World Zoholics tour. Yeah, see what they're all about. We had a great time, and they're moving it this year. I don't know if we did an announcement on this, but Zoholics in the US is going to be in April.
Houston. Yeah, it'll be in Houston in April or May. Yeah.
Right. We
probably should have done. That is an interesting thing to call out, though, because they normally announce so much new stuff at Zoholics that to have one, 6 months after the previous is going to be a little odd. I wonder if new things will be announced in that time frame, or will be a similar agenda, but that will be interesting to keep an eye on.
Well, hang on. Was it 6? I think you're losing track of time. Wasn't it June?
Well, I'm saying this upcoming one being earlier in the year.
Right, but I think it'll be 10 months.
Next year.
Yes. Yeah. That'll be crazy. Well, plus they're constantly rolling them out, and you get, this one in London is going to actually be after ours, because last year it was before the US one, and we have a London office or a UK or a EU office. And so Wayne always goes down to that, and he comes back and tells us all the things that we're about to hear at the next one that we're going to do. So
these will be spread by about 4 months, because in the US it'll be May 13th to 15th.
Okay.
And there will be in September. So I have like a 4-month gap where they'll be doing all of these, I guess, across the globe.
Crazy. All right. Well, that's the news. And now let's get on into our implementation of the week.
All right. So implementation this week coming from Colton and Alex on the Zenatta team. This is the automated storage of sales order PDFs from Zoho Books into customer-specific Workdrive folders. So those who use Zoho Books know that for any record, whether it's an estimate, sales order, invoice, you're able to generate a PDF version of that. That can be exported, that can be sent out via email, right? Whatever you'd like to do with it. Nice thing is you can also create those or pull those via scripted activities using a REST API. So kind of our goal here was inside of this client's system, they're using Workdrive very heavily. All their clients have access to their Workdrive folders for their specific client accounts, and tons of different types of documents are going to be loaded in there, whether it's, a document for a signature, a planning document, a spreadsheet, a price guide, all these different things. So we did want to consolidate all the sales orders as well into this, unified Workdrive environment. So what we did is essentially set up a workflow with the little deluge script inside of Zoho Books that triggers whenever a sales order is confirmed, basically meaning like accepted by the client. We can then use the REST API for Zoho Books to download the PDF version of that sales order. Then we can get their specific Workdrive folder, just that's stored related to their CRM customer account, and then use that data to upload the sales order PDF directly into that Workdrive folder, into like a subfolder within it, where all of these various like books, transactional records will be stored. So pretty similar to ones that we do around document creation. A lot of times this is done for like a proposal, a contract, something like that. In this case, just for a sales order PDF, but really nice just to be able to have that one-stop shop for a client, to know that really anything related to their engagement is always going to be in Workdrive, and they have access to that at their own discretion. So good job to Colton and Alex. Definitely one that will save the client some time. They were actually doing this manually before. They would just made a habit out of like when one gets confirmed, they just download it, upload it. They're like a lower volume, higher ticket business, so it wasn't like killing them to do it that way. But a couple of their team members were like, well, my day would be a lot better if I didn't have to do this. So decided to move forward and just automate the process for them.
I think that's the biggest thing. Oftentimes people will come to us, they've had Zoho for a while, and it's just like this, we start getting into a process with them that, we do this, and then we do this, and then we do this, and then we do this, and we do this. And we're like, well, how about if these factors are in play when you save the record, all that happens, right? Or how would you like to just push a button and have all that happen? You start to look at what the ROI is going to be on it for the client. because sometimes it's just, hey, this is going to take 6 hours to do or something like that, and maybe that's not worth it. But in most cases, huge, huge,
Is
huge
on the
time.
quicker side for something like this, because we're really
Yeah.
not like making a document, making a sales order. It's already there, right? And we just need to get the PDF. The Workdrive folder is pretty much already there. We do have a backup plan. I didn't note it in here. If it doesn't find a Workdrive folder for that customer, it just creates one. We have like a standalone function that just creates the template for them. But yeah, pretty straightforward plug and play type of solution in this case.
All right. Great job, Colton and Alex. And with that, let's head over to Club Zenatta and check out our code share of the week. All right, Tyler. Andrew has put up access and update Zoho Desk custom lookup fields via API. And he basically is saying that this is a PSA more than anything else, because unlike other ways of doing this in other Zoho applications, there's an additional extra parameter that you have to pass along.
Yep. And this is one of those tricky ones where it's in the header of an API call. Normally headers are pretty much the same. You don't really need to monkey with the header. It's really mostly in like the body of the request where you're going to create, update, do whatever. This is essentially just a PSA that there is a parameter in the header called feature flags. And you need to include the value lookup. And then when you fetch a particular ticket, you can actually see the lookup fields that come back. Now, these are just for custom lookups. The default ones will work either way, but you might have like a custom module for, let's say, serialized products, something that we're doing more and more in Desk, and you want that to pull back with a ticket. It just won't show up unless you include this little parameter in the header. So great idea, Andrew, to just get this out there. The only downside is I think you actually would have to use a more traditional API call rather than like the Zoho Deluge built-in functions to do this, just to get that extra parameter. So quick Google search, we probably got examples of those as well on Club Z if that is a sticking point for you.
All right. Well, with that, if you don't know, Club Z is our online social network where you can talk about all things Zoho. We would love for you to join. We've got several thousand members that are in there right now, 2,000 plus. And basically, it's just a community where we talk about Zoho, and other people are helping other people out. The Zenatta team jumps in as well. All we require is your email, and you can come on in and participate. But we definitely would love to have you come over to Club Zenatta and join the community. Check it out. You can put questions in there that you want Tyler and I to answer. You can go ahead and say, gosh, I would sure love to see a video on this for our YouTube channel. All of those kind of things. Basically, it's your one-stop shop for communicating with us and other active Zoho users. So check out Club Zenatta. And with that, Tyler, let's head over to Zenatta.com and check out our blog of the week. All right, a little Halloween theme here. 13 email marketing tricks or treats for Zoho.
You know, Wayne was proud when he came up with that title.
And he probably might be one of the foremost Zoho campaign experts, living in it and helping set up. Basically, whenever we have campaign issues, our consultants bring him in to help them get these things set up. So this is kind of his little checklist of things that you may or may not know and that you want to do when you are setting up Zoho campaigns. So a nice little article here, kind of clickbaity with the 13 tips and tricks. Anytime you put a number in like that, I like that. I expect this to drive a lot of traffic. We'll see how this one does. But anyway, nice tip. And by the way, new holiday templates have rolled out. They roll out across so many different applications.
Yeah, campaigns, forms, lots of them do it.
So Halloween ones are out now, and I think they're always available, aren't they? Or do they disappear when it's not that season?
They stay available. Sometimes they just add new ones to the library. Yeah.
So That's over at Zenatta. And if you don't know, if you have a question about Zoho and you go to our resource library, we break down all of the Zoho applications. We talk about their pluses, their minuses, what's great about them. But probably one of the most important things we do is we actually aggregate every single bit of content that we have ever put together around these applications in here. So I'm in CRM right now, and all of our videos are, you can go to our YouTube channel, but here we kind of put them into sections. It may help you easily find what you're looking for. And all the articles, it's just all here in the resource library. Additionally, if you're wondering, gosh, which Zoho bundle's right for me? Which one is in each bundle? Well, we have a bundles page where we break down all the pricing on every bundle, what's in each bundle, and you can click through and also access the resource library around that as well. And we break them all down, kind of a one-stop shop or one-stop place to find out which one should I buy, what's in it, what's the pricing, how does it work. You can kind of go through all of the various Zoho bundles, and they are all right here for you, all on one page, easy to digest and see what you need. All right. And with that, let's head over to our tip of the week. Well, you were on a tear, buddy. What do you got for us today?
Yeah, so this week I put together a video on creating custom modules in CRM, linking them up to other records, kind of how to do that process end to end. This one I actually didn't plan on making this week. I had somebody last week on a prospecting call. They just wanted to meet us, see if we'd be a fit. And one of the things that I identified they were going to need was a couple custom modules added. They were a pretty technical team. So I was going to say, hey, let me just grab you a video on YouTube. I'll send it over and you guys can get started on that. And then when we plug in, we'll focus in on the more complicated stuff because they were pretty capable of doing this stuff themselves. Then I realized we'd never made a video on making custom modules in Zoho CRM. So I went ahead and recorded one and sent them that. So yeah, this one really just came out of necessity that I kind of just always assumed we had one. And when I went looking, I didn't see one. So went ahead and recorded this. I used a jobs module as an example. So that's a pretty common thing that we end up making. We go through how to organize it. I give a couple tips about making a record information section, dragging down some of those ugly fields to it. And then we go through linking it up to other records, kind of seeing it in action in the system. So definitely a good one to check out if you're finding that you might need some custom data objects in the CRM for your particular needs.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. You and I were talking yesterday, I think it was, about there are so many little basic things that we haven't made videos on. There's so many detailed, complicated, crazy things. So watch for a whole new series on some of these basics, I guess.
No, I got another one from a YouTube comment. You know who you are if you are watching this, who asked, actually on a comment on this video, they asked, hey, do you have any tutorials on lookups, multi-select lookups? It's like, no, we actually don't. So I recorded a whole tutorial, probably like 25 minutes on lookups, filtering them, multi-selects, linking modules, all that good stuff. So kind of making the rounds on some of those topics that for whatever reason we've just skipped over time, making sure that those are all covered and out there for people to use.
All right. And if you don't know, not only do all of our videos live over in the resource library, but that's just linking you back to YouTube, but everything lives on our YouTube channel. So if you head over to youtube.com/Zenatta, that is where they all are. We're putting out 3 videos a week on average, sometimes more. And so head on over, check it out. It's all on the YouTube, as the kids say. Isn't that what the kids say? The YouTube?
I think so. All the youngins.
All the youngins call it the YouTube and the Facebook. Yeah. I don't think youngins use the Facebook anymore, though.
I don't think they do.
No. They're on the Instagram now, right? That's one, and the TikTok.
Which is still the Facebook. Just wrapped up in slightly different UI.
Oh, man. All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us again on the CRM Zen Show. If you would like to get a hold of us, please head over to Zenatta.com and click on Book a Meeting in that upper right-hand corner, and we would love to chat with you.
On the website is also where you'll find complete episodes of the show, as well as links to all the stories we discussed today. If you want that news delivered straight to your inbox every Monday morning, be sure to subscribe to our newsletter. And last but not least, we always appreciate when you like and subscribe here on YouTube, as well as your choice of podcast app. We'll see you next Friday.
Take care, everybody. It's funny, in California, we say all our freeways, hey, you take the 15 to the 405,
Yep.
Yeah, and
I actually
people
get
from
outed as Californian sometimes because I'll say that. It's pretty much only California, because you never want people in Colorado to know that you're a Californian originally. It's like a scarlet letter on your jacket once people know that.
Yeah, putting that "the" in front of things. Anyway, the Facebook. Great weekend, everybody.